For whatever reason, it seems like Google decided that we should not be allowed to have any fun when it comes to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, only giving us a white and black option. Good news is, you can pretty easily spice this thing up a little bit by throwing on a case. Today, we're going to be looking at one of the official cases made by Google. This is the Pixel 9 Pro Fold case, and I have the variant which is in this aloe green color. I have had it for actually a couple of days, but we're going to rewind time to when I unboxed it and gave my first impressions. And then after that, we're going to talk about how it has held up over the last couple of days using it. All right, guys, so here is the packaging. I've already actually taken it out. I really do appreciate that Google is like seemingly really committed to this like recyclable packaging thing. Everything in this packaging is recyclable, and that is pretty cool. But this is, like I said earlier, the green case for the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I've already popped it out of there. We're going to take a quick look at the two halves of this. So first off, the material is more of like a hard plasticky material than I was kind of expecting based on my Pixel 8a case. I was kind of expecting it to be a bit more grippy than it actually is. You can see that the G logo is a bit more reflective than the rest of it. This is really fascinating to me though. They've got like this, it's almost like a microfiber kind of material on the inside, which is kind of cool. I almost wish that maybe they made a case that was just like this texture. It's really, really soft. I guess that's going to be good to just protect the back of the device. This is your front piece, which is always trouble on these folding devices. As you can see, I'm actually using the thin-born aramid fiber case right now, but I don't have the front piece on, and it's not even because it wasn't doing a good job of holding on. It's because I had my phone opened up and it was sitting in a holder from my car, and it was kind of clamped onto this side, and whenever I went to go pull it out, it kind of pulled it off a little bit, and that just irritates me, so I ended up taking it back off. So we'll have to see how well this actually holds up. But for now, the thin-born case is coming off. We'll pop this back piece on, and that obviously snaps on really nice and easy, and there's no adhesive on this back side, which is cool, so that means you should be able to take it off and put it back on quite easily. For this front piece, we're going to remove our covers for the, I guess that's not a cover, it's just a peel on top of the adhesive. I mean, it does cover the adhesive, so I guess cover's correct. And we should be able to just snap that in place there. And now we have our mint green Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Do I need a mint green wallpaper now? There, maybe something like that will go with this. It's a bit greener, I guess. I might have to experiment with that more a little bit later on. You can see, of course, your cutouts are going to be pretty much perfect. Your microphone, your speaker, down here, 2 more microphones and another speaker, USB-C port, power button, and volume rockers. Pretty easy to get a hold of. This is definitely more slippery than I was expecting it to be. I was really hoping and expecting it to be a bit, a bit grippier than this. So that is definitely a little bit disappointing. You can see how it goes up around this massive camera bump. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go about my day and actually just use this thing, and then we'll talk about how that was. So like I said, I've had this case on for, I think this is day number 3, and overall, I think that I am fairly pleased. The best thing that I can say about it is that this front piece is staying in place really, really well. Even in my car phone holder, which actually grips the top and the bottom, and when I put it in there, I tend to put it in there grabbing onto this side because that leaves the charging port exposed on the other side. When I go to remove it from that, it's not pulling it off like it was my aramid fiber case from Thinborn. So that is a really, really good thing about this case. It's holding on very, very well. I do still think that it is more slippery than I wanted it to be. It seems like all these modern phones are just extremely slippery and hard to hold on to. And typically, I want a case that's going to give me a little bit more grip, and this is just not doing that. It is just a like smooth, hard plastic material, which is probably fine for shock absorption. You know, there is a lip around the screen, so that if it's face down, the screen shouldn't be touching anything. So these are all good things, but as far as grip goes, it's not going to be adding a whole lot of grip. I will say that the texture of this does make me think you could probably attach something like a pop socket or something like that to it if you wanted to go that route, because the material, I think it would adhere to something like that fairly easily. Now, this is a very thin foldable, but when you put a case like this on it, it's definitely going to add a bit of bulk to it. Kind of reminds me of the S Pen case for the Z Fold devices. It's just going to make it a thicker device. And generally speaking, that is okay. But one downside, I actually was going to use this phone in conjunction with one of these controller grips earlier today to stream a game from my computer. And unfortunately, because of that extra girth around the USB-C port, it just isn't able to actually plug in. So if you're going to use a controller, something like this, you're going to have to use something that is Bluetooth to be able to make that happen. That's slightly unfortunate, but not the end of the world for me. All in all, for $49.99, I don't think that that is an entirely unreasonable amount for a case. I'm sure you can find cheaper options on Amazon, but if you're looking at sort of more reputable brands, that's kind of where you're going to be at for something like this. And I do like the color, okay? I do like that green color, and I think that it looks okay with my Obsidian camera bump there. It's not too bad. Obviously, in their picture, they have it with the white one, but I think that it looks reasonably good with the black Obsidian device. Of course, they do have, if you want to keep it drab, you do have the porcelain and the Obsidian colors, but to me, I do wish we had more colors. I wish we had that bay blue option as well, but you know, if I'm gonna have to add some color to it, the Aloe color is not too bad. Of course, there is no hinge protection. Some of you I know really want to have something covering up that hinge. That's definitely something to keep in mind. Personally, I'm not super worried about the hinge area, but it is something that I think is worth pointing out. It's a pretty solid case, guys. I do have some more cases coming in that I'm going to be reviewing for this thing. I believe there's another aramid fiber case coming, and then 1 or 2 cheaper cases as well that I'm going to be looking at on this channel, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on that coverage. Until then, I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.